I can remember anyway, before there was a Polo Promotions tag team, Jackie, you created Polo Promotions. How did that come about, becoming the lead of Polo Promotions?
I think it gets back to a time when I was talking about, like, I was doing loads of technical wrestling, getting nowhere, having a rethink, and I just decided, like, I was watching all these shows and seeing all the kind of negative people in Glasgow putting on what I thought were poor shows, and I thought, like, right, I'm just going to, like, have one throw of the dice, and I'm just going to try and cause a bit of a stir and see what I can do. So, like, I just kept referring to, like, the fact that I wasn't a guy that wrestled for ICW or Progress or Target or SW or ECW or whatever the companies were. Like, I was my own entity, I was Polo Promotions, and that was just the way, like, I kind of presented myself, which allowed me to say that I was, like, a better promoter than all the promoters, and I was a better wrestler than all the wrestlers. So that was kind of like the first gem of an idea about it. It's just that I could talk about everything, because I wasn't really getting a lot of pull of any company, so I thought I'd just talk about every company, and I'll slag Lionheart, and I'll slag Mark Dallas, and I was like, you know, and I'd just say, like, how great I am, which was all true. And but once I got into the nuts and bolts of it, I just thought, like, I'm not going to just promote myself. Like, I'll talk about all the guys that I think should be on shows, and that was just always
me.
Yeah, that always just became the kind of. That always just became the kind of, like, outright, not everyone's a great talker or happy to talk in public, or not everyone's happy to upset the status quo, but I really didn't have anything to lose, so I didn't mind doing it. And so I thought I'll just champion all these guys and slag off all these guys who had no right to be there, but, like, had something over, or were friends with bookers, or, you know, were somewhat ingrained in the establishment. So that was kind of the rough idea of it all started. But I just kept referring to Polo Promotions. We at Polo Promotions. We at Polo Promotions would like to thank, what was it? Greg Hempel and, what was it? Tyrus, yeah. What was it? Rob Florence and Greg Hempel, like, Scottish actors, ran a show at a club in Glasgow. We at Polo Promotions would like to thank Greg Hempel and Rob Florence for the invitation, but Jackie Polo was doing anything else. Like, that was one of the lines for not going to their show, even though I wasn't booked on it, you know. Right. So that was kind of the idea of starting talking about Polo Promotions. But it's just like Floyd Mayweather had, even though he was a boxer, had Mayweather Promotions and things like that. That was exactly where, like, I got it from.
So how did you started off Jackie Polo as Polo, you know, Polo Promotions, Jackie Polo, part of Polo Promotions, but how did you decide who was going to then be a part of Polo Promotions? Obviously, Mark, you two tagged together before you were Polo Promotions as something else. That's right, isn't it?
Like, briefly. When I first started, each went, great, I've got a tag partner that's not Joe. It's great. And we, like, had similar gear, we did similar things where, you know, we got on well. We thought this would be a great fit, so we tagged, but it wasn't really, like, again, it's two trainee wrestlers, trying to find their feet is very difficult. So we weren't good. We didn't have good matches, and we get kind of shot down immediately with not like, oh, give her a chance, though.
Yeah, and I had a bad reputation, and Joe had a really good reputation.
And someone in the middle.
So,
like that.
So you could have, like,
he's Joe's brother, he might be good, he's hanging about with that guy.
Yeah, so you kind of got a couple of, like, opportunities elsewhere, because, like, they would really want to have this brother tag team, which I know you weren't overly keen on, but, like, thought, you know, I'll get my foot in the door and stuff like that. So, well, we did tag early doors as the better half, which is the Titanic quote. I can't remember the guy's name of the Titanic, but it went, there's only enough live path to save half the boat. And then this posh guy goes, you're the better half. So that's how we call ourselves the better half.
So we're arrogant is what we're saying.
But so you ended up tagging together as Polo Promotions. How was that, like, coming together as the best friends that you guys were?
I think you know, the boxing thing came into it. It was started more the Polo Promotions tag team started really in ICW, and it was like I was their 0G champion at the time, and like just wearing black trunks, black boots.
Oh no, I remember how it actually started though. Do you?
the night of it.
No, I know why. Like I actually we got put together.
Because I was going to face Lionheart.
Yeah, but like just a bit of subtext is the fact that before I was supposed to wrestle Lionheart the first time before he broke his neck, they got like some of his known friends in wrestling to wrestle me as like warm-up matches. He could commentate on them, and then I remember the office saying to me, "We'll get some of your friends to wrestle Lionheart as well." And I said, and I literally looked around the locker and said, "I don't have any." Like it sounds like, oh god, this is just all wrestling.
Smallest violin in the world.
Literally, like, no, like, cause I'd taken the stance to stand back and be Polo Promotions, make comment on everything. I finally walked in the ICW locker because they just said, right, you're making a bit of a star, we have to use you. And the locker room didn't know me would shake my hand, but people I actually knew. Like I got. Part of the reason why Lionheart never got is that he said he wouldn't shake my hand the first night I walked in the door, walked right up to me and turned his back on me, and then told Noam Dar, "Don't you dare shake his hand," just because of my like perceived attitude problem or whatever was going on. So like I said to him, there isn't really any, and as a wrestling character, I'm pretty hated with the fans as well. Like, why don't I just sign someone and promote them? And that was where that all kind of started. So, as if Mark was signed to Polo Promotions.
Yeah, and I kind of thought this is like a good kind of Mike Tyson, Don King, you know, like relationship where I'll just go out there and I'll fight and just he deals with everything else, you know. Like, he's the show and I'm the business.
Because a lot of people now, obviously you guys are one of the most loved tag teams, like especially definitely in this company.
Thank you.
Target Wrestling. But I remember the first time that we kind of brought Polo Promotions here was March last year. It was going to be the Coffee Brothers and a mystery partner against it was T-Bone and Red Nation at the time. And you came out, and generally speaking, you were a heel in this company and the shows that you were in beforehand, but they just took to you non-stop, you know. And so, in ICW, you were generally perceived as a heel, and then without actually doing anything, you came here, and the place was just going mad for Polo Promotions, for Jackie Polo, for Mark Coffey, and the place was just going Polo Promotions. So what was that? That was going to be was that one of the first babyface reactions that you received on that kind of level, anyway?
It was an odd when we're teaming at first in ICW. It was an odd kind of face the bar when Polo's on the quick turnaround marks in the ring, because for some reason they wanted to be polite, or I don't know, but it was like we had this weird kind of mixed. We're gonna boo you, but we really respect you as a wrestler. You done 800 squats once. So yeah, with that kind of weird dynamic going.
But at that time, what was really going on was they were facing the bar and watching the screens. Like they were turning their back on me to watch the show. So like, they were that crowd loves themselves more than they love any of the wrestlers. So like they didn't want to say they were wrong about me and like change their mind. So when I came down here, everyone was really happy to see me, Mark. This crowd had no problem with saying we love to see that. Whereas the ICW are still too stubborn, like to say, pure love yous.
I think as well as a team, this is just my guess of why people like us. We're actually mates.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of teams you go together and you just go, bet they hate each other.
Bet they don't drive together.
Yeah, well we're always together, in some form of fashion. If we're not wrestling together, then we're probably just going out for dinner together, so it's...
Yeah, and we weren't put together as some sort of, we've nothing for you two guys, why don't you just be a team and then we'll split these up in it. We were doing, Mark was doing his own thing and then I was kind of promoting him, and then we weren't doing anything, and we were at the bottom of the rung as a team, and we were just a team all the time. And people go, you should split up, and I was like, no, we're like a tag team for life. I've not back loads and loads and loads of work because they want me to go and tag with Joe Henry or somebody else. And I said, no, I'm a tag team. I said, well, Mark Coffey exclusively. And then they just say, well, we don't want to use the two of you. And I just have not back loads and loads of work. I've kind of allowed you to wrestle with Joe sometimes.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, I would rather be known as we're a team and we're not two singles.
Which people struggle to understand, which I don't, completely baffles me. We go, no, we're a tag team. Yeah, but, like, how are you both going to be the champion? Or we'll be the tag team champions? Like, people just don't understand that it's okay to be the tag team.
Yeah, we'd rather be the tag team championships where the main event than, you know, both of us were trying to be the heavyweight champion all the time. Like,
there's a lot of selfish people in wrestling. We're not. That I can say that like hand in heart. We're not selfish. We like being a tag team. There's nothing better than going out to the ring with one of your best mates and going, that's great, wasn't it?
Especially when it goes well.
So there's a very few times it goes great.
This is good. Sorry?
You better be selfish next month. You better be selfish next month.
Yeah, well that's like a...
Stupid.
That's a tag team. That's a...
Buy you a big floodie. All of them.
No, that's like half a tag team match that's taking place. Like, I'd probably say that I'll be wrestling next month against the better half of that tag team, like the more powerful member. And probably I'm not the better half of our tag team, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you are. Give yourself more credit.
Give yourself giving you a plug for it. Like, I got contacted by like a wrestling magazine, FSM, to talk about, and they want a couple of quotes because they're talking about Mark this month.
Yeah, I like that.
And I said, well, Mark's one half of the best tag team on this continent. ... Probably the better half. And that's probably where I feel about it. Like, I'm happy to push you to the moon side.
Aww, we are mates. We're really mates.
But next month I think I will be selfish because the Death Squad got some coming with them. So.
Let's talk about ICW. It's like they're expecting something again.
Score of last night, that's what I need to say.
Barkeep.
Before we get to...
Why did we talk so much about ice cream?
Well, before we get to like what was the when you left ICW, but whilst you were at ICW, the Polo Lounge. Let's talk about that. One of the most controversial, segments in British wrestling, especially the "This Is Your Life" segment that DCT alluded to earlier. The Polo Lounge. How was that for you doing that? Was that just another way to essentially just be yourself and
I walked in the first. Mark Allister messaged me online and said, right, this has gone far enough, we need to do something, even though like he kind of hated me. And
Still does.
I met him briefly, and I walked in and he said, right, what we think we're going to do is this, this, and this, and this. And I said, no. And he went, what? Like, we're the biggest company in Britain and stuff like that. I said, I don't care, I'm not doing that. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I told him, one, I'm too good to work your mid-card and you're not going to put me in your main event, so I suggested to do this Polo Lounge thing. And he kind of, but I'd stressed to him that the first guest on it has to be your heavyweight champion, otherwise the show's going to overbring credibility. And that was fine. Okay, I said, trust me on it, see if it's rubbish after 5 events, just you can get rid of me. Okay, fine. So I show up at the building on the first day and he goes, change of plan, it's not going to be the champion. He doesn't want to do it because he's uncomfortable working with you. Again, like just that much people in the locker room hated me at that time. So eventually they had a big demo and like that kind of group thing at the time, and they came on and it was a bit terrible.
Just a bit.
Yeah. But before that show, before I went out, I said to him, if it's not the champion, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to go home. I don't need to be here. And to be honest, you would rather I'm not. And he goes, no. Like, the way we've got the show, you need to do this. And I said, I don't need to do it. Like, either put Red Lightning as champion, put Red Lightning on the show because you tell me on the show, or I'm not going out. And he said, no. And this was the words that made me do it. He said, I need you. And I said, that's too good, I'm going to throw that back in his face at some point. So I said, right, okay, as long as in the next show, was supposed to be Wolfgang versus Fergal Devitt, Finn Balor, and I said, as long as Wolfgang or Fergal or the guest on the next show to build up a main event match, let's do it. He goes, absolutely, no problem, we'll do that. Right, fine, so I did it. The segment wasn't very good, Red Line wasn't there, it was Damo and his friends, and didn't go that well. Then the next show comes round and the same thing happened again. Fergal and Wolfgang don't want to do your show. Fergal said to me he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to take away from his own entrance, which I understood, but Wolfgang refused to do it. So it ended up being, was it you that did the next thing?
Yeah, I done it and I had there was no need for me to be on it. I was just, and nobody knew we were mates, so it was just kind of, and here's Mark.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. So if the next show came out and I went, screw this, I'm just going to turn the notch all the way up to 11. And that's where the infamous singing my name, and I said, I walked up and said, play this music, this is the music. And it was my theme song that's now, I never used it before to play that, and I was singing to the ring, and it walked, like it's nothing, like before I'd be going out and just being dead arrogant, and I sang it to the ring, and I was wearing like a Christmas outfit and things, and the crowd were like ravenous, turning their backs, throwing stuff at me, like just hating on me.
But I think at that point, that was the kind of point where, because I was backstage watching it, the locker room started sitting up and going, this is getting pretty good, like, people really hate this guy.
That was like all we really need to talk about with the Polo Lounge, because Mark Dallas turned his promises down all the time, and eventually I was left with no option. I had nothing to talk about with some of the guests, so it turned into just me talking and not being allowed to say very much because the crowds were that hot, and just me being, just turning, that was me turning the switch and becoming kind of more like what you see now. But yeah, that was kind of the point. The This Is Your Life thing was brought to me by ICW saying, we want you to do This Is Your Life. I said, why? They went, well, we think it'll be good, you do something with it. And they didn't give me a time frame, so...
Can I just say that was only half the length of what it was meant to be. That thing went 45 minutes, and I remember we were talking about it beforehand, and you had so much more.
I had a Jeff Jarrett costume underneath what I was wearing, and I was going to do a bit as Jeff Jarrett to finish it before he came out, and they cut it because it was going so long. But they didn't give me a time, and all I did was say, like, build them up. But the crowd hated it, and I adamantly hated it because, like, I didn't give them what they wanted, which was me just going, Lionheart is this or that, and the next thing I just listed his accomplishments and said how good a guy he was, even though I didn't know what of it.
But there must have been, I mean, I know it probably overran quite a bit, but there must have been...
It overrun, they didn't give me
time. They didn't give me time. So.
On the run she said, Jackie Polo, this is your life segment. That's it, no stage.
I don't think anyone envisioned it would be 45 minutes.
Well, they were wrong.
I mean, it was a curtain sellout, but not for a good reason. Everyone's like, oh my god, is he still out there?
What was that? What was the atmosphere like when you went back after that with Dallas kicking off? Was it bad?
Yeah, I just said, you need me.
No.
With a single bead of sweat running down his forehead, he would come.
Yeah, apparently they had someone there from BBC and they walked out because of something that Blaze had done before the show. But then he stayed on and watched what I was doing, and he said this show's produced so poorly that he walked out.